the welcome to the eighth session of Bigyan Chorchar Asur. Bigyan Chorchar Asur promotes scientific temper among general public, especially to students. Today we have Dr. Jayanta Sthanapati, one of the stalwart in India in the movement for the Science Museum. Science and technology museums, along with Science Centra worldwide, have been dedicated to enhancing public understanding of science for over a century. In India, this effort began shortly after the country gained independence. The speaker, a science museum professional from the National Council of Science Museums in India, has over 4 decades of experience in this field. He will present the topic using documents, visual, and videos that draw on his experiences in both India and abroad. The topic of today's discussion is enhancing public understanding of science, the role of science museums. I will tell you about a brief biodata of Dr. Jayanta Sthanapati. Jayanta Sthanapati completed both his graduate and postgraduate studies in physics at Jalpur University. He conducted experimental studies in solid-state physics at the Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science and earned a PhD in physics from the University of Calcutta. Throughout his college and research career, he received several awards for his innovative project work, including recognition from JBNSTS, Jadavpur University, the Birla Industrial and Technological Museum, and the Indian Cryogenic Council. This achievement inspired him to join the National Council of Science Museums at the age of 27. He served at NCSM for 33 years, and in the last 13 years of his tenure, he held key positions, including Director of BITM, Director of NCSM, and Deputy Director General of NCSM. During his tenure at NCSM, he represented the organization at various international science museum forums where he gained valuable knowledge and implemented relevant practices in India. After retiring from NCSM, he pursued research in the history of science and earned a PhD in history from Jalpur University. Further, under the sponsorship of the Indian National Science Academy for 3 years, as a project investigator, he researched the history of science museums and planetariums in India, culminating in a comprehensive book on the subject. He has authored over 60 publications throughout his career. In 2022, the Science Association of Bengal and Vijayagar Jyotish Ray College, Kolkata, jointly conferred on him Dr. Meghna Saha Memorial Award 2022 for outstanding contribution to promotion and popularization of science and technology in society. So we are very lucky to have Dr. Jayanta Sthanapati today. Uh, 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 please start your session.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, teachers and students. I thank you all for attending this presentation. I hope you have a very high hope. I do not know I'll be able to fulfill that or not. I also thank the organizers of Bigyan Chorchar Asur and especially Madam Sunanda Laha and Dr. Subhashachi Pal for giving me this opportunity. I have never been a school or college teacher, so I lack the experience of professional educators. However, from 2000 to 2020, I gave over 50 in-person lectures on today's topic at the UGC Academic Staff College of Jadavpur University, which was attended primarily by the freshly recruit lecturers from various disciplines. So you understand that this lecture is not for science museum specialists, it is specially for general audience, which may include students, teachers, and everyone who is interested in science museum or science promotion. Today, I have over 60 slides and 5 short videos for this talk. I'll give a brief overview of each of them and try to leave time for discussion at the end. So we move on to the presentation. As we already mentioned, the topic is enhancing public understanding of science, the role of science museum. I will not restrict myself to India only, because about India, you many have many ideas, many exposures. So what I will do, I will an overview in a nutshell. I will try to show how the science popularization activities are undertaken throughout the world in different countries, but in a selective way. Now, to enhancing public understanding of science, it is crucial for several reasons, because it improves the grasp of science, it helps the citizen to navigate technology worldwide, and it results in more informed personal and societal choices, and so on. And how the Science Museum helps, we'll come to that later. I'm not going to read out the text here. And we go to the next slide. Now, in this discussion, we are using the Science Museum term as a generic one. Throughout the world, the Science Museum is used as a generic term. This one part I'm reading out because this is very nicely, briefly written here, that collect, display, exhibits on various aspects of science, technology, and nature. Now, what are the science and technology museums? These are exhibit-based institutions that concentrate on collection, conservation, documentation, exhibition of historical, scientific, and technological artifacts. Examples, I'll come later with much details, say Science Museum London, the Deutsche Museum in Munich. Then there is another group of science museums. Of course, the Birla Museum comes under the first group, though it is a mixed one, and it's mixed of the second part also. The second part is science centers and science cities. The majority of the exhibits in a science center or science city are interactive. These are not artifact-based science museums, which may include hands-on exhibits, live demonstrations, and computer-simulated displays. The third group, which is older than the science, modern science museums, are the natural history museums throughout the world. There are many. In India also, the first natural history museum to some extent was set up in 1814 at Indian Museum. They had very big collection of natural history objects. Now, the natural history museums, they collect, conserve, document, display zoological, botanical, paleontological, and mineralogical objects, maintaining a rich collection of Earth's diversity of life. In this presentation, we'll be excluding the natural history museums because NCSM do not handle natural history objects. Here is a map which shows the current status or the status of science museums other than natural history museums set up in India between 1942 and 2004. There are 3 different colors, dots, and size also. The largest size shows Science City. The next circle is for national level science museums and centers, and the third one is regional science centers, and the fourth one is sub-regional science center or district level science centers. In this mass, we will find almost all the states of the country is covered and have at least one science center in each state except Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. We are yet to open any science museum in these two states. Now, history goes like this. In 1942, Professor B. Dasanacharya, of the head of the department of BHU, he had opened a science physics museum there, which was opened by C.V. Raman. And he was inspired by seeing the Chicago Museum of Science and Industry in the USA. But unfortunately, within 10 years after his retirement from the department, the museum was closed, and there is no trace of this museum anymore in BHU. And when I tried to find out the details, they said that we have no record of this museum. Okay. The next science museum, which was set up in 1954, was the Pilani Science Museum in Rajasthan. And in 1959, the BITM, the first major science museum under the CSIR, was organized or opened in Calcutta. As of date, there are 56 science museums and centers which have been set up by CSIR and NCSM since 1959. And there are 14 science museum centers outside the umbrella of NCSM. And there are 60 natural history museums in the country. Of course, we are not discussing about those. This slide is very important historically, because the first we said that Pilani Museum, Birla Museum Pilani, 56 we didn't mention. This was the first attempt of CSIR to set up a science museum at the National Physical Laboratory. This does not exist anymore. They do not remember what was there. And the third one, in 1951, the BITM was set up, the first major science museum, which is also considered as the mother of all science museums later developed in India. 4 persons were very important. First, Sri Ghanshyam Das Birla, the head of the Birla family at that time. Professor K.S. Krishnan, the co-worker of C.V. Raman for Raman Effect. Dr. Vidhan Chandra Rai, the Chief Minister of West Bengal, and Jawaharlal Nehru, the Prime Minister at that time. Now, G.D. Birla, he opened the small museum in Bilani. Now it is still survived, but in a better scale of operation, and now it is called a science center. The name has been changed. NPL Museum, immediately after the sudden demise of K.S. Krishnan, while he was the director of NPL, it was closed down. And in 1956, the Birlas, the building which you see in the picture, this particular building has completed 100 years. It was created or opened in 1923. But in 1956, the Birlas decided that they want to dedicate or gift this building for some noble cause. They thought initially that they will go for a hospital. It was a residential building. Then somebody said, go for a college. And then B.C. Roy was their house physician who told them that why not go for a science museum. And in 1936, B.C. Roy visited Deutsche Museum in Munich and also Science Museum, London. So he inspired Ghanshyam Das Birla to donate it to Government of India, to CSIR, and Jawaharlal Nehru was the head of CSIR at that time. In 1956, the building was donated to CSIR. And in 3 years, the museum was open. 3 persons, I must name them, were important in setting up these 3 centers. Under G.D. Birla, one V.P. Berry, who was a commercial artist, he created the Birla Museum. Sri R. Subramaniam, a physicist who opened under the guidance of K.S. Krishnan this museum at NPL. And then uh, Mr. Amalindu Bose, he was appointed by Vidhan Chandra Rai for the Birla Museum, who created this Birla Museum. Now, only after 4 years, there was a request to the CSIR to open another museum in Bangalore, and which was finally called the, we say that this is Visheshwara Industrial and Technological Museum, which is celebrating its 60th anniversary this year, what opened under the leadership of Amalindu Bose. So this is this history up to 1965. Now we go back to, camera is out. Let me see.
Yeah, there's some issue with the camera. Please wait few minutes. Uh, Sir is working with that. Thanks for your patience. We will wait for some short time. Dr. Sthanapati is coming back. Sir, probably we can go without the camera for some time. Please wait for a few minutes. I'm just trying to reach Dr. Sthanapati.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Voice is going.
Yeah. The voice is perfectly coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can start.
All right. So I'm repeating what I was discussing. So this is the page where I have given a list of museums on science and technology called Science and Technology Museums. Now, the first was in 1683, the Oxford Museum of History of Science. It has a significant collection of instruments related to science, medicine, and technology. The next one is the London Science Museum, opened in 1857. It's a technical museum, very rich in artifacts in science, engineering, and medicine, and information technology. The third one is the Deutsche Museum Munich, opened in 1903. It is the world's largest museum of technology and science. And the fourth one is National Air and Space Museum, Smithsonian Institution, Washington, D.C., opened in 1946. Now, at this stage, I want to add something because some people say, can we not create another Deutsche Museum like museum in India? Can we not open a museum like National Air and Space Museum in Smithsonian? Sorry, sir, no, this is not possible because these countries, they were very rich in artifacts, which we do not. The industrial revolution did not take place in this place. And they have so many inventions and so many things. So they could acquire all these things for presenting in the museum. I give you an example. There is National Museum of American History. Now, anything which is important goes in USA regarding science and technology, it goes to them. For even any blast, the 9/11, the molten the pieces were sent to the National Museum of American History. So like that. So now what to do? And this is the problem all over the world. So there was another thinking, in USA 1960s, people started thinking that without the artifact, how can we make science centers, science museums? And they call it a science center, not science museum, because they are not having any artifact to show. And thus, a trend has been created in Exploratorium in San Francisco in 1969. They call it Exploratorium, not a science museum. It was created by Frank Oppenheimer, brother of Robert Oppenheimer, of that atom bomb famous person. At the same year in Canada, Ontario Science Center was opened. This was also a hands-on center, but they called it Science Center. Incidentally, two persons from India, the first director of VITM Bangalore and Dr. Saroj Ghosh, who was the director of VITM at the time, they separately worked in these two places. Dr. Ghosh at Exploratorium for quite some time, and Mr. R.M. Chakravarti for 1 year at Ontario Science Center. And this training they had by the end of 70. The next science center was opened in Singapore, called Singapore Science Center in 1978. Now, after opening of the VITM in 1965, there was a proposal to set up another industrial and technological museum in Mumbai called Mafatlal Industrial and Technological Museums. Now, both BITM and VITM had sufficient artifact, but we have no more artifact. So they came up, the Chakravarti and Ghosh, they came up with a new idea, and they set up a science center at Mumbai called Nehru Science Center. It started work in 1975 and opened in 1985. Incidentally, this is the first science center in the country. And after that, all the science museums set up in India are all science centers. No more science museum because we do not have enough artifacts. In addition to that, the Nehru Science Center created the first children's science park in the world, which I will show later how this was copied worldwide. What we are going to show, how the science museums enhance public understanding of science. Now, there are 4 basic targets, and this is quite a modern concept. Do science museum provide memorable learning experiences? Do exhibits and activities of science museums increase visitors' knowledge and understanding of science and technology? Do science museum promote trust and understanding between the public and the scientific community? This is a new idea. And do science museums motivate youngsters in career choice? Now, no science museum in India and most of part of the world can take up or handle all these questions, answers to all these questions. but collectively, the science museums do give answer to all these questions positively. Here is a list of 15 top level science and technology museums, not natural. Of course, some of them are natural history museums too in the world, but there are different opinions. This is one of them, which shows 15 such science and technology museums, including a few natural history museums, but they are according to, not in order of their ranking, in order of their the year of setting up of opening. It's in 1828 to 2001. This chart covers up to that, but this is not updated after that. I have not updated this. There will be many more which were set up after 2001. Out of this 15, 9 I have covered. I have visited personally all these 9 places, and you will find out of this 9, India ranks only in one place in respect of Science City, Kolkata. So, except Science City, Kolkata, no other science museum is considered according to this marking or evaluation in top 15 science museums. Never mind. Okay, this is the Deutsche Museum in Munich. This is very large and it has largest collection of science and technology activity. It is so big that it is said that if a person stands in front of each exhibit for 3 minutes, he will take 7 days to complete the entire museum to see. I was there only for 2 days and could see a fraction of that. But I'll give you some ideas about those who do not know, for them only. You see, this has huge collection of artifacts. The first diesel engine of 1897 is there, and this is in working condition. Periodically, they run it to show to the visitors that this is working. The Benz motor car of 1886, the original is there. Puffing Billy steam locomotive of 1814, the first electric locomotive, and then one more slide I have, the cockpit of Boeing 707 of 1959, and a very old clock mechanism. This is working, not always, sometimes they work it. It is 1721. Initially, the BIDM authorities thought they will go for a Deutsche Museum-like museum, but that was not possible. Okay. In 1973, the government of India constituted a task force, and they were curious to know, because the CSIR was financing 2 science museums in Bangalore and Kolkata. What are they doing? Are they doing some effective work? So an assessment was done, and the outcome of the review was like this. Yes, those were very valuable to the society, and these were the recommendations by the task force. The museums are to be developed in 3 levels, they say: national level, regional level, and district level. And according to that, I have shown you in the map, there are national level, regional level, district level. Science museums to be set up in different parts of the country, which has been achieved almost. And for planning of the network of science museum, there should be a separate executive agency with required specialization and expertise. So the idea was very clear: delink from the CSIR, who are mainly interested in research and development, and create a new council, which was created in April 1978 as National Council of Science Museum, and its headquarters is in Calcutta. Initially, it started functioning from BITM campus, and in 1993, they moved on to their new building in Salt Lake. This is the building of NCSM, a 10-storied building at Salt Lake, Kolkata. And what are the objectives of science museums in India? There are 22, but I am highlighting only 3. This is stimulating interest of young people and common man in general in science and technology, arousing aspiration of young people to pursue work in science and technology field in the future, and fostering human resources for science and technology. These are the basic objective. Now, BITM building, you know, this is a British architecture. And in 1985, the Nehru Science Center, Mumbai, was opened. It was the largest science museum in India at that time. In 1992, the National Science Center in Delhi was opened. It was then the largest. And in 1997, the Science City, Kolkata, was opened. Now this is the largest science center or science museum in the country. Let us move on to some other countries. It is absolutely my selection. I found these buildings very eye-catching and very impressive, but it's quite different from our science museum's buildings. On the top left, we see National Science Museum, Bangkok. There are two cubes which are standing on their corners, and is an architectural marvel, we can say. There are 7 floors inside the building. Left bottom, the National Science Center in Kuala Lumpur. This is called Pusat Science Negara in Malaysian language. And this is very spectacular building. This photograph was taken in the evening, and at night, the entire building glows and can be seen from a long distance. This has 3 or 4 floors inside. And on the right, top right, we see the China Science and Technology Museum, Beijing. The Chinese, they entered in this science museum field quite late. This Science and Technology Museum, Beijing, was opened in 1990. And the right bottom one, the Shanghai Science and Technology Museum, which is in the list of the 15 top science museums, was opened in 2021. Now here in Beijing Museum, the globe is nothing but a planetarium or IMAX. And at the bottom, in case of Shanghai, the globe is also a projection theater or a planetarium. Now we go to Europe. How much experimentation is going on? See, top 2 photographs are from Explore at Bristol. They do not call Science Museum, Science Center. Basically, they are science centers. So Explore at Bristol. This is in Bristol. This is the front side. And the entire front is covered with glasses. And this is the back side. There's a globe, which is also covered with mirrors. And this is a planetarium, where there is a link from the building to the dome to go to the planetarium. Bottom left is in Glasgow Science Center. This is also very spectacular. If you look at the size of the cars, you will understand how big is this. From one side of the building is covered with stainless steel, and the other side is covered with glasses. And there is a tower also in between. The visitors can go to the top of the tower. Bottom right is very interesting. You see, it's the name of the museum or science center is Nemo. Nemo is a cartoon character of fish, and those who have kids at home, they must be knowing that Nemo is a fish character. It is in Amsterdam, is surrounded by a lake, and later they added, because Nemo many people were not understanding, so now they called Nemo Science Center, Amsterdam. Here I am showing in my opinion, this is the most impressive science museum building or science center building I have seen in the world. There may be many. After that, I saw this, but the name of the museum is also very interesting. It's called Mirai-kan in Japanese. It is National Museum of Emerging Science and Innovation in Japan. It's not Science Museum, Science Center. It says Emerging Science and Innovation. It deals with that. And the name of the museum is written in very small script, where on the top right you will find the name is there. The idea is that people will be understanding, interested to know what is there in that building, and they will come to visit the museum. But of course, nowadays they are putting a big posters in the front side of the museum, and the back side, which is at the right bottom, there is a dome, which is also a planetarium. I will discuss a few exhibits from this museum. This is the largest spherical display in a science museum in the world. Its diameter is above 6 meters, that means 20 feet, 20 plus, and it is covered with 1 million light emitting diodes. And the bottom left you find it is blue and shows now loading. Now what they load? They load the whatever is happening in terms of weather or anything, only with a gap of half an hour, this is exhibit or displayed in the globe. And the globe is surrounded by a continuous ramp. The ramp starts from the ground level and goes to the top level. So visitors can stand at different heights at the ramp, on the ramp, and watch this show. And the students lie down on the floor sometimes to watch the show. Here is an image of the humanoid robot, a very sophisticated humanoid robot called Asimo. Asimo was on display in this place. I tell you a brief story. Once the Asimo came to India at the National Science Center when I was working there, and I talked to the people and told him that why not you take it to Kolkata. This is made by Honda company. And in that year, I think it was in 1996 or so, they said, no, we don't sell many Honda cars in Calcutta, so we don't have market. So we'll not take it to Calcutta, but rather we'll take it to Bangalore and Mumbai. Anyway, so I will show you a video of this Asimo later, so I'm not explaining this figure. The Asimo comes out from a room, it waves its hand, and the children are sitting there, and it can dance also with music. And when it came in India, it was programmed with a Hindi film song, and it started dancing with that song. Okay. Now we show a video. Now, I'm telling you about the video, what is there in case the video flow is not continuous. That's why the director of the museum was an astronaut. And here we show that globe, then few exhibits on superconductivity, then micro machines, then maglev, and Meet the Science program, and many more. And of course, there was an animated, I would say, exhibit on internet, how internet works is used by using mechanical analogy. They have shown it. So let us see the video.
This science museum is based on a new and original concept, putting people in touch with the latest advances in science and technology.
This is the Geocosmos, the key exhibit at MiraiCon. It lets you see the changing conditions of our beautiful Earth on a real-time basis. This is the world's first display of the Earth using light-emitting diodes. Various images are projected on the spherical body, which is 6½ meters in diameter. Here we can see many compelling phenomena concerned with superconductivity, a key concept for future transportation. This is the MiraiCon maglev, a working model of a magnetic levitation train. There are some truly amazing scientific technologies here, making use of nanotechnology and micro machines. This remarkable robot is the well-known Asimo. Asimo represents the most current, state-of-the-art in the design and manufacture of bipedal walking robots. Also on this floor is the exhibition zone for information science and technology for society. You can conduct experiments on computer and network principles and be introduced to the newest information on science and technology, connecting you to anything, anywhere, or anyone at any time. At each stage of these exhibits' creation, leading scientists and researchers provided ideas and advice. Interpreters and volunteers play important roles by communicating the latest in science and technology through explanations, demonstrations.
Okay, we go to the next slide. This is the Chicago Museum of Science and Industry. It's a huge museum in Chicago. Now here I have a story to tell you. In 1982, a Festival of India exhibition was created by Science Museum London, and it was displayed in Science Museum London, where the purpose of the exhibition was to show the contribution of India in science and technology. Now, this exhibition had mixed reactions. Some Indians said that we were not shown properly. The Indian achievement was not shown properly. Rather, the British influence on India in science and technology was highlighted. So in early 1984, there was a proposal. There was a signature of an agreement between Ronald Reagan and Indira Gandhi, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, that there will be a Festival of India celebration in USA in 1985. And so an American designer was invited. His name was Jack Massey, I understand. As I remember, I was in BITM, a curator at that time. So Jack Massey wanted $3 million to design the exhibit. Of course, the cost of the exhibition will be different, and it will be created in USA and exhibited in USA. So Mrs. Gandhi did not like the idea. She said, no, we are not going to spend this money. We'll do it ourselves in India. And he asked rather our Director General Saroj Ghosh to Delhi and said, Saroj, I want this exhibition to be set up in India. And there were one advisor. She said that Professor Yashpal will be your advisor. Okay. So it was 9 months left to complete an exhibition. And it was done primarily in BITM because the NCSM headquarters was in NCSM. And BITM and some people from Bombay Science Center and Bangalore Science Centers were transferred, or rather brought on tour. And in 9 months, the exhibition was completed in India. I'll show you a picture of that. It was so successful. It shows the Indian science and technology heritage for 5,000 years. And initial plan was the exhibition will be prepared by India, and it will be sent to USA at our cost. After that, 4 American museums, the Chicago Museum, Los Angeles, and Portland and Seattle, in 4 places, they will hold the exhibition at their own cost, and the Indian team will go to them at their cost. But whatever profit they make, that they will share between the museums, because these museums are all private museums. And I tell you, the exhibition was so successful. There were 2 more sites after that. Initial plan was the exhibition will be there for 1.5 years. And ultimately, it was there for 2 years. And Discovery Place in Charlotte and Science Museum Boston also displayed the exhibition. Now, let us show you what is the exhibition. This is a view of the exhibition, and they renamed in America. It was not said Festival of India. It says India, a Festival of Science, and the topics which were covered broadly are these: a glimpse of India, India that was, India that is. India is not a land of spiritualism only. India is a country of vibrating culture and pulsating modernity in science and technology. Our scientific culture is streaming from a heritage of 5 millenniums. This was a great success. It was for 3 months, and all 6 places it was successful. So later on, the NCSM made 3 different copies of this exhibition and permanently installed in National Science Center 2003. You can see it there. 2006 in Mumbai, name was changed as Our Heritage, Technology Heritage, and in Science City in 2019 called Science and Technology Heritage of in India. 1996, I believe, 1996. Okay. We came to know that a dinosaur exhibition will be. Dr. Paul, can you hear me?
Sir, yeah, I can hear you, but
Hello.
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. So I'm
Yeah,
continuing.
yeah. Please
Huh?
continue. Your video
Again,
is
some
not.
problem. I think
Yeah.
my device has no problem. Okay, you
You
can
please
hear me?
continue. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, right.
Okay, I'm continuing. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
taking help, technical help. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Now,
yeah.
in 1996, we came to know while in Delhi that an American exhibition called on animated dinosaurs will be visiting again, the camera is off, the microphone is on.
Your mic is on, so no problem in hearing. You can continue.
Okay. Now, what happened? Then, then Dr. Ghosh, who was a DG then, he came to know that this exhibition is coming to India. He said, no, why not we have our own dinosaurs? We'll create our own animated dinosaurs. And in 5 months' time, I tell you, at the Science City, BITM, Bombay, Delhi, everybody joined hands, Bangalore, and we created 20 species of animated dinosaurs. The advantage of our dinosaur was this: they were larger in size, in some cases full size, and in some cases half size. But the American dinosaurs were pygmy compared to us. So the day the exhibition, American exhibition opened in Purana Kila in Delhi, on the same day, our exhibition was opened in National Science Center. But within 1 week, we found the visitors are.
There is some technical problem again. I guess that it will be over within a short time. Please wait for some time. Please wait for some time. I'm trying to contact sir. হ্যাঁ স্যার, আপনার দিক দিয়ে ইন্টারনেটে প্রবলেম মনে হচ্ছে। তো হ্যাঁ, আপনি স্ক্রিন থেকে আউট হয়ে গেছেন, তো আপনি আরেকবার বেরিয়ে আরেকবার ঢুকবেন। Sorry for the problem. We are trying to be back within a few minutes. স্যার এখন কি শোনা যাচ্ছে?
আপনি কি হ্যালো হ্যাঁ
Can you hear me now?
can you hear me? I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, but your video is not showing. But you can continue without the video, I guess.
Acha. You talk here.
Yeah.
We'll talk from here.
Yeah, you can do that, and I can change your screen for you. So can you remember the number of the slides? I will just quickly go.
Can you move on?
Yeah, I'm just changing the slides quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, probably this was the slide you were there.
Yes, this was the slide. So should I continue from there?
Yeah. Please continue.
But my picture is not there. Okay. Now my picture is not there, but I'm using through a different device, phone.
Yeah. That's okay, but we can hear you. No problem.
Okay, fine. So what I was telling that oh no, this has come. Huh? This one, na? Okay. Yes. Can I see the slide? Yes. Hello. This will work?
Yeah.
Okay,
we can see that. We can see the slide, so you can carry on. And I will change the slide when you will ask me to do that. Okay. Now we can see you.
Some time I have wasted.
Yeah, that's okay. No problem.
You see, what I was telling, that there was an American exhibition on dinosaur came to Delhi, and in 5 months we set up a dinosaur exhibition called Dinosaurs Alive, which were open first in Delhi at the same time when the American Museum exhibition was open. And after 1 week, we found that visitors were not going to that exhibition, coming to our exhibition. The reason is there were various attractions. Our dinosaurs were much larger, either full size or half size of the actual size, and there were all pygmies. And on holidays, Saturdays or rather weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we were getting more than 30,000 visitors a day. Now, next site of the exhibition was Science City. Now, Science City was coming up at that time, and Saroj Ghosh wanted people to know that a Science City is coming up. So this was a great opportunity for him, and he used this exhibition as temporary exhibition at the Science City. So people came there and saw the exhibition and came to know that the Science City is coming up. Incidentally, I must tell you, Science City is the only institution, or rather, only science museums under the government of India, which runs with its own steam. It doesn't take a single rupee from government of India. Since 1996, they are getting their own money, rather whatever profit they make, they keep in a bank for the benefit of other units of National Science Center. This is an example. Okay, next slide. I'm moving to another traveling exhibition which impressed me. It was in Singapore Science Center. As I've already said, Singapore Science Center was the third science center in the world, opened in 1978, few years before our science center at Mumbai. They, at that time, when this is the bird's eye view of the Singapore Science Center. On the left-hand side top, there is a poster, huge poster, which shows what exhibition is going on at the moment, the robot zoo, and what are coming. One is on chemistry, the other one was related to electricity. In the exhibit, there were animated zoo animals, but in this case, they had no skin. So the visitors can watch how the body part function. Suppose for a giraffe, how the water is pumped to the head and different parts of the country or body, how they make the movement or something like that. All the zoo animals were of animated. One interesting exhibit was there. There was a frog with a microphone in front. Nowadays, this is very common. It's not so new, but at that time, to catch the attraction of children, if you speak something in front of the microphone, say, "Hello, froggy, how are you?" And the frog the replies in frog's voice. He says, "Wow, wow, wow, how are you?" Like something like that. So this was very interesting. Next slide. Next, please. No, back. Yes. By the year 2000, the NCSM earned lot of expertise to fabricate exhibits and export to other countries of the world. And our clients were Australia. This is a set of exhibits which were installed in Australia in one of the science centers, and Turkey, Bangladesh, Israel, and many more countries. I have not mentioned those. Next, please. A very interesting exhibit I saw at Shanghai, in Shanghai Science and Technology Museum. It's a man-made rainforest, but man-made. Everything is natural inside. There were 10,000 rainforest plants and 200 species. It's a huge area, and the front side is covered with glass so that people can watch from outside what is going on inside. It shows through DTS technique, there will be rain, one can have rain dance, see the creatures, and at some time, a plant, there's thunder, rain, everything, so many things are there. A tree will fall as if a tree is falling, and this was artificial, but after some time, it goes back to its original position. Now the video, please.
The rainforest plants with over 200 species. A marvelous spectacle of rainforest is waiting for visitors to explore and to enjoy. What is worth to notice is a stimulated demonstration of the sudden weather changes in rainforest made with DTS technique. Visitors are able to see a lifelike scenery of thunderstorm with heavy raining happening in the rainforest with cloud and mist.
The picture quality is not so good, but all these are artificially created inside, the effects. Okay, we go to the next. This is a very interesting exhibit. It was made only once in the world, and the name of the gallery, it was in Nemo in Amsterdam. It was Teen Facts. From the name, you can see that. And there is a poster, you can understand what is going on there. And I wanted to enter to that gallery, and the guard stopped me. He said, "No, this is not for you." Then I said, "I'm a museum professional. I want to see this." He said, "No, no, this is for teenagers." Then I went to the front desk and told the lady that I want to see this. He said, "How old are you? 16?" I said, "No, no, I'm 60." "Then you can't go there. You send a teenager from your family to see this. I said, no, this is my card. I'm a member of the Indian ICOM, and I have to see this. And I have heard about this gallery. Okay, there are 30 exhibits which are primarily meant for the teenagers, and some of the exhibits, if we display in India or in any city, there will be commotion. People will not allow to show that. Okay, I go to the next slide. Here is I will show you only 2 exhibits. Here is an exhibit. This is a boy or a girl, I don't know, in the TV screen. And the other part is a mannequin. There are 3, I think, few handsets there. He is a teenager. And behind there is a picture of Britney Spears, who is a famous pop star, you know. And this is the environment of a teenagers. Of course, not all teenagers are like that. And when you lift the handset, he or she says that I have this problem with my girlfriend or boyfriend, and this is the problem. Now, what should I do? How can I solve it? And he says, say, should I do this? And there are, besides the handset, there are 2 switches, yes or no, yes or no. Okay, and the visitors go on pressing like that, yes or no, yes or no. So through this, they get a data bank and say, okay, these are the types of problems the teenagers are having. And this is the solution which came from the teenagers, but not from the same person. This is an interesting exhibit. Next, please. Okay, here you see there is a big screen and there is a girl behind standing. And in front, there are touch screens. These indicate different types of drugs. I can read only 2 here. The other one, it's not very legible. But if you touch any of the screens, there is cocaine, there is ecstasy. Second from left is cocaine, and at the center there is ecstasy. So if you touch it, the girl starts dancing. And first you press cocaine, she dances. Then you press ecstasy, she dances. Of course, she is enacting. And I didn't find any difference between the dance, but they say that the police, they can identify when they go to a club or a nightclub, looking at the movement of the girl and the boy, they can find out which of them have taken drug. Okay, go to the next slide. This is an exhibit, a large screen in National Museum, Bangkok. There are 6 screens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there on a tabletop there are 6 switches. If you press a number 4, then Newton appears in the whole screen, and he says, "I'm Isaac Newton." This is, in a nutshell, this is for children. In a nutshell, this is my contribution, and these are the things you may remember. How did I do this and that in a very short time, I think 3 minutes or so. If you press 6, then Einstein comes alive and sees something. If you press 3, Aristotle says something. One thing is important. You see, there is a similarity in other lectures where there is face-to-face interaction. I ask, what is the similarity? Now here I am telling you, the same person has enacted all the characters. The face is same if you look closely. Okay, next. I said that India has created the first science park in the world. Now in BITM, our land area is less than 5 acres. In Bangalore, it is less than 3 acres. When we got the plot of land near Worli in Mumbai, it was 15 acres, and it was transferred by government of Maharashtra. It was in 1975. Now, soon, we started getting political pressure. We means our authorities, that what do you do with 15 acres of land? You give up. You give us 10 acres of land and be happy with 5 acres of land. And land is very expensive, costly in Worli area. So after brainstorming in different levels, it was 1978, I just joined in BITM. I'm a witness, but nothing more. In BITM, some curators, led by Suraj Ghosh, they said, why not we do one thing? The internal indoor exhibits, which are there in Popular Science Gallery, why not we enlarge them and place on the ground at different locations and make a science park. And by that way, we'll be able to save the land. And I tell you, within 1.5 years, the science park with 60 exhibits were created by the people in NCSM and to save the land. And land was saved. And the building was coming up in a designated area. But by doing this, NCSM created something new, the concept of science park, which is later on occupied in various parts of the world, in Europe, in different places, in USA, in science law, I think it is called, in New York, New York Hall of Science, I'm sorry. There is a science park in Israel, in Malaysia, in Bangkok, in China, and many other countries. Okay, so next slide. This I am showing a picture of science park exhibits in Singapore Science Center. From Singapore, one Ceylonese person, he came to India to watch the science park exhibits in India and different places. He's copied all these photographs. And later, when I went to Singapore Science Center, I found this beautiful science park there, and they named it Kinetic Park at Singapore. And of course, they have placed a board plaque there, acknowledge the Indian counterparts for inspiring them to take it up. There are 2 exhibits specifically I'm showing. The yellow one, this is a parabolic reflector. I'm not explaining what is a parabolic reflector, like your dish antenna or so. If you speak at the focus of one disk and the other person, if he or she is at the other disk at the focus, a very light whisper, he or she can listen to that. This is called parabolic reflector, or whispering ground, we say. And the red one is an echo tube, and the 2 faces of the echo tube is there. I'll show another picture. Next, please. Okay, this is in Belgium. Same parabolic reflector is copied. This is left bottom is a Benham's disk, and of course this chessboard they have created. It is not really something related to science. Okay, next, please. One more program we have initiated in India. It's called Mobile Science Exhibition in 1965. And this year we are celebrating the Diamond Jubilee. This is the 60th year of Mobile Science Exhibition. And incidentally, since 2017, it is recognized as the most effective and long-lasting and most extensive non-formal science exhibition program in India by Limca Book of Records. Every year, the record is continued. Now, in 65, this mobile science exhibition was created by BITM. Here on the top left, you find the picture of a bus. This is one side of the bus. There are 6 exhibits. At the bottom, the other side of the bus, there are 6 exhibits which can be seen from outside. When you go inside, there are 6 plus 6, 12 exhibits. So in total, there are 24 exhibits which are carried by a mobile science bus. And at the moment, we have 48 such buses which is crisscrossing all over the country. Right bottom, we see the people who operate this activity. On the left, there is an education officer, a BSc graduate, at the middle, a driver, and on the right, a technician. These three persons operate this activity. Next, please. Okay. Here is a list of some 21 such different themes, but so far we have created 45 such themes. So I'm not going into details. And here in the photograph, you see there is an exhibit on mathematics, and people, the students are taking note of that from that. Next. Okay. MSc, the Mobile Science Exhibition, also was copied in different countries, which we initiated, but they have a different mode of presentation because of the climate, they cannot have the outside exhibits. Climate. Here, this is from Belgium, and the left-hand side, top left, is a bus where inside the bus there are exhibit. Top right, there is another version when one part of the bus can be extended to increase the area of the exhibition, and bottom two, these are mobile laboratories which are powered by solar cell, and they move from village to village. Next. Okay, I mentioned the first science center was created in Exploratorium by Frank Oppenheimer in 1968. They have hundreds of exhibits, hands-on exhibits, and most of them, 90% of them, are copied all over the world, even in England and America, of course, Germany and other places, also in India. I'm giving you only one example through this video. This is called anti-gravity mirror. Of course, there is no anti-gravity mirror. This is a mirror, and the person is standing at the edge of the mirror, hiding one part of his body and doing some actions from the other part, using the other part, and see the spectacular effect. This is one kind of interactive object which was made. So please show the video. The person is hiding one part of his body behind the mirror.
Mirrors I find very confusing to this day, and I think it takes a lot of getting used to. And you start when you're little and learn about mirrors, and it's a lifelong process, really. That's why it's so surprising. It's so different from what you expect. Any mirror is a magical sort of thing. And we pay a great deal of attention to the role of aesthetics. And you start when you're little and learn about mirrors, and it's a lifelong process, really. That's why it's so surprising. It's so different from what you expect. Any mirror is a magical sort of thing. And we pay a great deal of attention to the role of aesthetics, the feel of it, the structure of it, the building up of suspense and the relief of tension. But these are things that have to go hand in hand with much more didactic forms of teaching.
Okay, next please. Okay, I showed you how we were inspired from others, and we inspired other museums through our various activities. This is an interesting exhibit which I saw in Hong Kong. I went on a private tour with my wife to Hong Kong rather. And I always made it a point whenever I go to some city, even in private capacity, I make it a point to visit the science museum there after making proper appointment. When we went to the Hong Kong Science City, The director's name was Yip Chi Quen, I understand. I remember. And I gave a presentation first, what NCSM is doing and what we were doing. And after that, he said that I'm not giving you any presentation, but we are opening a new exhibit today in our museum. So you can, but that will be in the afternoon. Can you wait? I said, no, I went in the morning. So he said, okay, I will give you a tour of the exhibit. And he took me to that exhibition. And the name of the exhibition was Flowers in the Mirror, a journey through 9 exotic countries. It is based on a novel written in Qing Dynasty and combines storyline with principles of reflection. So they created an exhibit on this theme by using only mirrors. And there were 20 exhibits, and there were sections like this: country of gentlemen, country of little people, and so on. Suppose we know it very well that if you have a curved mirror and you stand before that, either you will be stretched your body or you will be shortened, depending on the curvature. Now in mirror, we know how to do that. And also we know that to show how a man is without having a head in a mirror exhibit. These things we did. But there were different exhibits. One exhibit was, suppose the ladies, they cannot see what is there behind their head. Okay. And we also foreseeing that as another mirror has to be brought there. But there was an exhibit. If you stand in front of you, you can see your backside like that. And so many effects were there. So one particular exhibit I was very much attracted is the kaleidoscope. And I took the picture in the kaleidoscope and returned to my office in NCSM. And my director general, he asked me, hey, what did you see in Hong Kong? Did you see anything new? I said, sir, these are the pictures. I showed him all the photographs of the exhibits. So immediately he said, okay, you do one thing. You prepare a PowerPoint presentation only with the pictures. And he invited all the curators in Birla Museum, in Science City, in National Headquarters and CRTL to this NCSM's conference hall and gave this presentation and said that, see, this is the exhibit which he has seen and taken photographs. Now we should have a replica of this exhibit in our own way. And this was meant. And this was also exhibited in Science City, Kolkata, and later in different parts of the country. What happened that Yip Chi Quen, after a few years, he left Hong Kong and he went to Macau to set up a new science museum. And then for idea, he came to Science City. But I had contact with him, so he sent me a mail. I shall be in Science City. Would you be able to meet me? I said, okay. I went there. And he told me, after looking at me, after getting me, that, okay, you have nicely copied my idea. But he then said, okay, I will now copy your Science City exhibits in Macau. Okay, this is how we got ideas from others. This is an example. Next, please. I went to USA, I think 4 times in 82, 86, 2006, and 2008. When I went to US, every time except, I think, 1982, I visited the National Museum of American History in Smithsonian Institute, but never visited the National Museum of Natural History, which is in the same area in Smithsonian. So after returning home in 2006, some of my colleagues, senior colleagues, they said, did you see the Hope Diamond? I said, Hope Diamond, what is that? I didn't see. They said, hey, what have you done here? You could have seen Hope Diamond. That is very interesting. So next time in 2008, I went there and went to the National Museum of Natural History, found a huge poster in front of that. and it shows geology, gems and minerals, second floor gallery. And at the bottom, it is written the Hope diamond, 45 point or something carat, like that. The largest blue diamond in the world. Okay. Now, next slide, please. Okay. Here is the Hope diamond at the center on a pedestal. It takes a complete turn in 1 minute, and you don't get much time to stand in front of there because there is a huge crowd, but you are allowed to stand there for some time, took a picture with the Hope diamond. So I saw the Hope diamond from a close distance. I'll give you a close-up. Please, next. This is the Hope diamond. At the center, there's a blue diamond, and which is surrounded by white diamonds. It's a necklace. Next, please. Now, what surprised me, I never knew that Hope diamond is from India. This label is not very legible, so I'm giving you another text. Next, please. Yes. This is the Hope diamond, 45.52 carats, Indian. You are looking at one of the world's most famous gems, renowned for its flawless clarity, rare deep blue color, and eventful history. It is surrounded by 16 white diamonds and suspended from a platinum chain bearing 46 more diamonds. Gift of Harry Winston. I'm not going to the long story, but history says it belonged to many people. And if you believe in superstition, all of them suffered either due to death in family members or loss of property or loss in business or something like that. The final owner of this Harry Winston, he donated this to the museum, and no more loss. And because of this Hope diamond, they earn money. Of course, the museums are free. I mean, there is free entry in all Smithsonian institutions. I'll just say for joking. Next, please. Okay. Here you see, it is from another Natural History Museum, London. At the center, you find a huge skeleton of a dinosaur. It is called, it is a sauropod dinosaur, Diplodocus carnegie. It was there at the museum from 1905 to 2017. But what is interesting, it's not written there. It is a plaster cast. The actual one is in USA, and a plaster cast was displayed here for so many years at the central lobby. And it was so popular, the children, on the date of its installation, I do not remember the date, the children come there and they celebrate the birthday of DP. They call it DP. It was so popular. Okay, it's no more there. Next slide, please. Here is a dinosaur skeleton in India at ISI. And the name of the dinosaur is Barappasaurus teguri. I'm sure definitely some of you definitely know what is the story behind this name, Barappasaurus teguri. It was partly it was discovered in 1958, and then most of the part in 1960 and 1961 from the village Pochampalli in Telangana by a team of scientists from ISI. The name is given there, Jain, Kutti, Rajchodri, and Chatterjee. Now, why Barappasaurus? You see, the legs were quite big. So one of them, the laborers, he said possibly the sub bada pav mila. We got a big leg. So bada pav, barappa ho gaya. Saurus is fine, but why teguri? You see, in 1861, Rabindranath Tagore was born. So it was the centenary of Rabindranath Tagore in 1961. So that is why it was named Barappasaurus teguri. It is still there on display in ISI Museum. Yes, next please. in the Natural History Museum, scientists move here, and sometimes scientists, sometimes educators, they dress like scientists, and they explain the questions or answer questions or explain many things related to exhibits in that museum. The next one. This is an interesting exhibit called Human Biology Gallery at Natural History Museum, London. Now here, I took this picture with the permission of the lady. You know, in our country, at least during my childhood, if somebody asked that, Daddy, where from I came? Or Mummy, where from I came? They had no answer. They said, I found you here, on there, or something like that. They don't give answer. And here this lady with 2 kids, she was explaining the where in my womb you were there. And in this entire gallery, the human reproduction and many facets of life were exhibited, and nothing vulgar, very educative. So this is how the science should be taught at that level. This is an example of the gallery. So we learned a lot from that. Next, please. This is Science Museum, London. And the outer view of that, you can look at the queue in the forefront of the building. A huge queue is there. Here, the Science Museum, London, entry is free. This is the government museum. And next slide. Okay, there are huge number of artifacts, many things to see in Science Museum, London. But one program attracted me very much, and I found something to learn from there. There was a bubble show. I do not know whether you will run properly or not. In this bubble show, the lady who is a school teacher, she volunteers and to do this science show from time to time before children in the museum. And there she is showing whatever may be the shape of a ring, the bubble will always be circle. That will be shown. So next is she shows how to make a square bubble. And finally, there is a bubble filled with hydrogen gas. So everything is made dark, and at the tip of a stick there was a fire. So when the fire comes close to the hydrogen balloon, and it catches fire, and there is a glow of fire. Okay, let us see. I hope this runs properly. The bubble stick.
That just means that when the bubbles do come out to play, it'll be even more special. Don't worry, have patience, and you will get the giant bubbles. And this time I want you to shout out the shape that you see. So here come the bubbles.
What shape
are they?
And let us see what is the shape of the square.
Even though I'm using a square, they're still sphere shape. It's a bit strange. They're all spheres. There wasn't any hearts. There weren't any love bubbles. It seems like whatever shaped ones I use, we're always getting sphere shapes.
Heart shape.
Here we go. A little cube. Let's see if we can make it a bit bigger.
Now she will make a square bubble.
Oh, nearly. One more dip, and we should be there. Do you know what? It's going to take lots of dips today, but it's going to come. There we have it! Fantastic! Good work, guys! Amazing. So we've managed to trick our bubble mixture, but watch this. If I pop all the sides of my bubbles here, That was a bit of a shame, but you can see what we've got left over. All the science kitchens at home, and it works really well, and it stops the bubbles drying out, makes them last much longer. Use sugar from your kitchens at home, and it works really well, and it stops the bubbles drying out, makes them last much longer. Let's give Andrea a bit of a countdown from 5. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow.
This is the hydrogen gas balloon which is moving up, and there is fire at the tip of a stick, and the balloon catches fire. So next, please. Now this is a science show which was conducted in BITM, but no one should try to do it without adult guidance. It shows that science is there's science magic. I mean science behind magic. There is a ring covered with cotton, metal ring, and it is soaked in alcohol.
Just try. Is it burning? Yes. Oh. But we can boil water. We can cook on my head, no problem.
And they are boiling water in a jug. But I must tell you, the towel which is there in between the fire and the head is soaked in water. So it is cold. Okay, next please. I will not take much more time. I'm almost at the end. This is another interesting exhibit which we have created at Kurukshetra. It is on Kurukshetra War in a science museum. And look at the building. The ground floor of the building is a standard height, say 12 feet or so. But in the upper floor, which is cylindrical in shape, is 40 feet high. Okay, next please. I'm showing a section of the structure. You see, the height of the cylindrical shaped hall is around 11.46 meter, and the diameter is 38 meters, and there is a viewing platform at the center which is 13 meter wide in diameter. So visitors, they move from ground floor through a lift or through stairs to the viewing platform, and what they see there. Next please. All around there is a continuous picture, one continuous picture on 18 episodes of Mahabharata. This is one of them. And next. And this is another of those sections, but this is a continuous picture. In the foreground, there are many queens and structures, and there is light and sound show. So there is an environment of war environment. And if you move from place to place, you listen to different commentary. It's not that single commentary is running all over all the areas in different sections. Different commentaries you can hear to that. After that, there were many attempts to copy this type of panorama, and one panorama is there in Science City on evolution of man. Next, please. I'm now at the National Museum of American History. Is one of the science and technology museum in Smithsonian. Next, please. Before 2006, when we visited this place, this museum.
Sorry, there's another technical glitch. I guess he'll come back soon.
But in 2006, we noticed that they created, storytelling sections. So each artifact is surrounded by some mannequins and the diorama, so that a story is being told. In this exhibit, you find the person is calling, the car is stuck in mud. So he is trying to pull the car out of mud through chain pulley system. And the owner of the car is standing and watching. And then there is a dog. So story is this, that when the cars were there, then roads in the USA in many parts were not proper. So roads were to be made. Next, please. Here is a section where we find the original cars. These are all artifacts, motorbikes, and on these two, and the scene of the city with the cars and bikes flying on that is shown, and with the help of mannequin. Now, this idea we copied, rather we took this idea. If you go to BITM, you will find the Rolls-Royce car with a babu entering the car, and there is a driver in front of that. And like that, in the electronics gallery, there is a mannequin, and all other parts, all other major centers in NCSM, we have tried to support the supplement the artifacts which we have through mannequins and background display. Next, please. This is a cable car of American Museum. Cable car was there for many years in San Francisco in working condition. And next, please. This is an engine. So look at how nicely it is maintained. This is old engine, an artifact, and there are three, four persons standing in front. The idea is that the trains were used by the military, by the royals, and also for transportation of liquor. So the drums are also there. Next, please. Next. One very interesting exhibit, not in a museum. Oh, can you go back? One slide back. Yes, this is the one. Look at the top left picture. From behind the hedges, we look at a cottage. Now we want to see what is there, but this is unusual drawing. And we go closer to that, not very close, we see the house again. Next slide. This is the house seen from a distance. And when we go close to it, we find it has only two sides, not four. So this is a vivid example of optical illusion. Even in photography, this has appeared. Okay, next please. Now we move on to, this is the last part of our discussion today, National Air and Space Museum in USA, Washington, DC. We said this was opened in 1946 and gets huge number of visitors every year. Next please. There was a gallery which was not there before 2000, I mean rather before the 2003, this gallery. It was created in 2003 inside this museum, and the name of the gallery is Wright Cycle Company. Now, this is a peculiar name, Wright Cycle Company, and people are curious. In fact, I also could not understand what's the meaning. And above that, above the gate, you find somebody is working with some machinery. So when we go inside, next please, we see a cycle, bicycle, as a central exhibit. The reason is this: the Wright brothers were bicycle makers. They were expert in making bicycles, and they used to sell bicycles. So the entire gallery, their tools are displayed on display, and it shows how, with the help of this kind of instruments which they have and some modified instrument, they created the first aeroplane. Next, please. Next. This is the back original Wright brothers flyer. When I went there in 1986, I could not find out this particular exhibit because it was hanging from the ceiling along with other aircrafts. 2003 was the centenary year of Wright Flyer. So during that year, they made a new gallery devoted to Wright brothers' contribution and kept the exhibit at the center and with a bench so that you can sit there and take a picture with the exhibit. It is at the eye level kept. So I tell you, what is the lesson from this? That yes, artifacts will be there, but artifacts cannot be created. So whatever is there, you have to play with this. You have to make change in display and so many things, which is being experimented all over the world. Now, if you say, why you don't, I repeat this, why can't we make a Dutch museum or a national museum here in space in India? Because we have advanced a lot. You see, it's not difficult. It's very difficult. You cannot do that because we don't have the artifacts. They are displaying all original things. And that is why not everywhere in USA you are finding the same museum, similar museums. But the science centers can be created because the exhibits all created in-house. And in India, we do not export. It's a matter of pride. We do not import any exhibit, which create exhibits 100% in-house in our laboratories in different science centers. So thank you very much. I end with this. I'm now open for questions.
Thank you, sir, for giving us a wonderful tour to many of the science museums and science center over the world. I'm sure students will learn a lot about these museums, and it was really exciting for me also to see so many exhibits in different museum. And I also like it very much that the Calcutta took a major role in the science museum movement in India. So it's a pride for us, the Bengalis. So here is some questions. One question is from Sunanda Laha. So here's the question. So she is basically asking about the yeah. I've just tried to read the questions. Nowadays, people, mainly students, have least interest in science and to know about conservation. So please explain the steps museums take, or what is the role of government to spread awareness. So probably she is trying to say that the nowadays students are less interested to go to museum.
May I speak? Okay, let me go through the question quickly. Nowadays, people, mainly students, have less interest in science and to know about conservation. So please explain the steps museums take, or what is the role of government to spread the awareness. Yes, it is true that the visitors figure in all science museums in India is around 5 million. It is much less than the total population. Now, this is a general trend that why people are not interested in science. So I think government is trying their best. You see, as far as Science Museum is concerned, the first effort was taken by CSIR, a government organization, and then the NCSM, another government organization. And in 50 years, the NCSM has created more than 50 science museums. So, we have the extensive mobile science exhibition programs, which reaches the audience or the villagers to their doorstep, to their schools. So this is how we are trying our best. And but finally it is and we are trying to do the experiments or the presentation better and better, more interesting. And the type of exhibits which we saw in BITM in our childhood, and we see the digital adventure of so many things nowadays, much better, much more improved, and these are contemporary. And not only that, we have constant interaction with foreign museums, but how to modify or how to create more and more effective exhibits. But this is a trend in general. I tell you, there is a review which says that in USA is a John Faulkner is a famous, I would say, person who did a review for many years. He says, the review says, this is well referred in many places, the American students do not learn science from their schools. They learn more from interaction from science museums. But unfortunately, it is also said that not all students go to the science museum. It depends on the interest of their parents, of their school teachers. Right. And if they consider that, yes, we must take them to the science museums, more and more children will come, because the children of themselves cannot go to a science museum. When I went to science BITM at the, I think when I was in class 9, it was we were taken to the science center, science museum by the school. Not we didn't go there directly. I'm prolonging this reply, but I tell you, there is an example which we always cite, and you remember Professor Vikas Sinha. He was a very famous physicist, and he studied in Baliganj Government School. He said, it is BITM where I saw for the first time the photoelectric effect. And that inspired me to study science. And so I took science, because I was also strong in English, but he went for science. So as a mass, you cannot make everybody interested when there are so many deviations.
Yeah, and I guess that it's not only the science museum. The other museum is also suffering from the same problem. For example, the National Museum in Calcutta and the museum in Delhi is also having less visitors nowadays. So I guess it's the general trend of the people that they are more busy with mobile or other media, and they are less interested to go to museums, especially in India, I guess. There's some other questions. So Sukarna Sinha about to know about the science gallery in Bangalore.
Okay. Madam Sukarna Sinha, you are in Bangalore, I believe. And one second, I cannot see the question properly. Can you help me?
Yeah. So she is asking, what is your opinion? Yeah.
It's not opening. I don't know.
Yeah. Can I read it for you?
Okay. Now I can read. What is your opinion of the Science Gallery, Bangalore?
Yeah.
Their displays work around a single theme that remains for a few months. It is part of a world-wide of Science Gallery network. Yes, true, everything is correct what you are saying, but although I live in Bangalore, and I know Madam Falke there, who is the director of Science Gallery, but I have not visited Science Gallery so far. But I have gone through their website, and the concept I have seen, this is very innovative, something very new, and it is different from the concept of NCSM. In NCSM, we find it difficult to change the galleries very soon. When a gallery is made, it is supposed to remain there for at least 10 years. and we spend a huge amount of money. And this is the policy which we have in NCSM so far, and this is followed almost all over the world in all famous science centers. But yes, science gallery is also gaining importance. They are people are getting attracted to that. This is also a different, the concept is slightly different, the approach is slightly different, I understand, but I have not studied much about the science gallery because I have not visited the place as yet.
Yeah, here is a question from Krishnendu Chakraborty. He's asking why entry fee is not
Why not
is not free.
Why
So
not
nowadays,
entry is free except few rides and shows? Yes, it's a important question, but I tell you, I do not know whether this in open platform I should say this. And when VITM was open, because I have studied the history of these museums very carefully, it was free. Now, it was noticed that free was not inviting people enough. So they charged 25 paisa per head, and the visitors' figure increased. Then the entry ticket for the general audience, general visitor, was something, say 10 rupees at one stage, and the students who come from school in a group, it was 5 rupees. And under Sarva Shiksha mission, it was made free. So actually, I tell you, when we take, say, 5 rupees or 10 rupees from a visitor, we spend more than 100 rupees for each visitor, considering the overhead, the cost of exhibits, the salary, the electricity, and everything. So Government of India made a condition that they will not pay the entire money for running these science museums. Some portion, say 20% or 30, now it is 30% fund, money has to be raised internally by the science museums. So this is the condition. Now you may say that why Science Museum London is free? Yes, it is London is free. But even then, it is very difficult to get in. You cannot enter very easily. You have to stand in long queue. You go to Smithsonian. All museums are free there. But otherwise, in all other museum centers and in Europe, USA, in China, everywhere, this is paid. We earn very little from the get money. I think we can waive it off, but the government will not allow. They said that you have to earn some amount of money, and that will show that yes, you have some importance. People are ready to spend some money to see your exhibit. That is the idea, as I understand.
yeah. So there's no more question. So we learned a lot about the science museums and science center around the world and in India also. And at least for me, a science museum is is an important part of my learning, and I was always interested since I was living in Calcutta, so I used to go to BITM. It was really nice to learn about the whole journey of the science museum in India, and to learn about the different science museum around the world. So thanks a lot, sir. I guess the students will learn from this discussion, and I will encourage students to go to museums. It's always fascinating, and it's meant for you. So you learn a lot, and from the practical experience, it's easy to learn science. So today I will finish the session with thanking Dr. Jayanta Sthanapati. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you very much. I thank all of you, Dr. Pral, Ms. Laha, the entire team of your Vigyan Charcha Rashor, and the audience for asking interesting questions. I'm happy that they have not asked me many more questions, because already we have completed, we have taken 2 hours of time, and because of the technical failures, I'm sorry for that. But really, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thanks. Yeah, good night.